Hi everyone, it's Leslie at Rosehaven Yarn Shop. Today's podcast we're going to talk about felting because we're in the middle of doing a really fun freeform construction felting class with Pam de Groot from Australia, down under. So these dresses are what we're making. It's all eco-printed with leaves and iron and all kinds of fun stuff, and it's all on silk and wool that's felted on top of it. Ooh. Sorry, I'm probably making you seasick moving the camera around. Hang on, I'm going to try and set it down and then I can show you by standing back a little bit. So right now we're in a gymnasium of our Salvation Army, our local Salvation Army. This is the facility we borrowed, rented to do the class. We had like 10 of us. So this is one of the designs that we did. So all of this part is wool felted on silk, and then we've added in pieces of just plain silk. It's called Habitai silk, and this one's had some shibori dye and other different negative dyes on it, and it's like a long tunic dress with the flounces, and this is all the lovely Habitai silk on the back. And this is more the colors and things that we're doing at this workshop, which is the freeform dress with eco printing. So again, it's all wool felted, and you have to do all the math and figure it out with your shrinkage, what your shrinkage is, which for me it's 30%. So you have to make the dress to fit 30% bigger, and then it shrinks down to fit you in your size. So yeah, look at all these cool plants. Like this one is eucalyptus. Let's see if I recognize anything else. That looks like a pickle, but I know it's not a pickle. We've got Japanese maple, and yeah, it's pretty awesome. Anyways, all ours are in the pots right now cooking, and hopefully all the tannins are putting out all their lovely colors so that all our dresses, when we open them up in about 2 hours, will be ready to see, and everyone can try them on, and hopefully we'll get some pictures of them too. Okay, we'll go check out the pots in a minute. This is just to show you some of the plants that we were using for dyeing. Eucalyptus is great. It gives off a really nice bright color. So we got some goldenrod with some silver maple, black walnut's great, smoke bush, and there's a piece of tin ceiling down there. Sumac is really good. Perennial geraniums are good. Smoke bush, let's think, raspberries. Apparently stuff with thorns is pretty good. Rose bushes. These are some chestnut leaves. I put some of these on one. They're a little dry, so we're not sure how well they're going to turn out. There's smoke bush down there, and grapevine works. What else do I see? Raspberry, poplar. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting how it all turns out. So here's the awesome, big, giant stove. And here we are. So we have a bag of onion skins in here. This one's mine. It's really getting dark, but they do lighten up quite a bit. So we'll see how it actually turns out. I think this is Betty's. Yeah, look how dark that is. Whoops. Let's see, what's in this pot? It looks like really good roast or something. They gotta cook for about 4-ish hours, and that's eucalyptus. Apparently takes one of the longest ones to get the colors leaching out. So we got a few more hours to wait while we relax, because we have had one heck of a busy 4 days. This is the last day. Here we are. Here's Nancy's pocket, little frills. Is it still wet? It's still a little wet.
Yes, it is.
See how Nancy has this lovely undershirt of garbage bag? It's a very fashion-forward look. So all of this is felted, and we sort of measure and try to get it to end up where we want it to with our lovely mathematical skills. Yours looks like it's right in place. Your pocket's in a good spot, yes, and everything.
I'm pleased. I'm
cool. So you don't.
Great workshop.
Yeah.
Leslie's been fabulous.
Oh, thank you. Are you exhausted? Is your back sore? Mine's killing. Oh, are you? Okay, good. So you're not going to get yours in the dye pot, though, I guess, with the flowers?
But I'll
do it at home.
And do it at home. Pam said I could do that, so.
Pam said, so it's good. All right. Thanks.
Quite a different
Here's
set of
steam
leaves,
coming
though,
off.
isn't it?
So did you dip your leaves in something?
Mostly iron. A little bit of alum, but not much.
And what was that?
Gorgeous.
Thing?
Looks like.
I know, wasn't that the,
Wow.
that was the sumac, wasn't it the
Tiger
tiger's eye
sumac.
sumac? Yeah. Sumac looks great.
Interestingly, I expected everything to be oranges, and it's
Yeah, she's got a little here, you know.
That matches my silk.
Very much, yeah. Nice it done. That's a really, it's gone green. Interesting.
Oh, those are
Maybe
your
that was
eucalyptus?
because of the
that
copper
one
in
didn't
there. This
Look at
fern
that.
print's really
Oh,
nice.
really green.
That's a bright green, isn't it, that fern?
That's unexpected.
That's a really...
good because I got lots of fern.
And there too. Let's see what's on the other side.
That's your front.
That's beautiful. It looks like suede.
I don't want to see mine.
That's an
Very nice.
So this is the print. Like that's not the leaf. Wow, because it totally looks like there's still a leaf there, but there's nothing.
Dip it in, Alan?
I can't remember.
That's why the answer is
You were dipping a lot.
I thought, oh, you know, I could go for something yellow here if it's going to be yellow.
Yeah, no, it
Dreadlocks.
went green.
Cool.
So you probably didn't need to dip the sumac in iron because it's already going to really react with the iron. And you had quite a bit of iron in your cloth, you can
Yeah.
tell.
Yeah, because your cloth was really
Which
orange.
is
at
the
the time.
sumac on there?
Oh, is that
Well,
the
this is
inside?
the
Yeah.
sumac.
Wow.
Did you put leaves inside?
You could almost wear it reversed. Just don't have a
Yeah, I
pocket.
just want to check
you
that
could.
out.
That's
Although I got a
wild.
lot of flaps on the outside, but that's...
Oh, look at that.
Wow.
Completely different dress. Yeah, that's a great idea. Wow. I love the purple. That is so
made all that work
so
worthwhile.
exciting.
Yes.
This is so exciting. Thank you.
So you're going to hold her up here. And I just love, like with the onion skins, it just gives that difference. Like it wouldn't be the same without having that different colour in there. That solid
Yep.
front. It's nice.
Fabulous. You're going to love wearing that.
Would you take a picture on my phone for me?
Yes. I'm not I know how to do well, barely. My daughter.
So when you spin that out, some of that,
Mm-hmm.
it'll get a little clearer and cleaner when you spin it out and
Yeah.
wash it.
Hold it up.
And it's interesting, I've had that thread, and it's kind of red, so that's kind of neat.
Very nice.
Now the back.
How green the eucalyptus went.
Can you turn just this way a bit, Lou?
It's just like things that never happen at home.
Thank you.
So she
We're
may not have
zooming
got
in
it in
here.
the pot. That's what it was, yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be an awesome rich color.
So what leaves are those? Those are rose.
Owie. The metal pipe is still on.
Oh! So I see some eucalyptus.
Is that eucalyptus? No, that's rose.
No,
That's the black walnut.
no, I didn't have any black
Copper
walnut.
has provided
Keep
green.
guessing.
That was rose leaf, wasn't it?
Nope. I have smoke bush, burning bush, elderberry.
What was this one?
Elderberry. That's the black.
Yep.
Okay, I gotta take my own
Serious
picture for a
amount of-
second.
Serious amount of green.
You want
That's great.
nice green.
This is the green.
Yeah, where did the green come from?
No, the copper in the bars.
Alum?
Mm.
Very nice.
In which bath?
All of them.
Good.
Yay. So what's that kind of berry thing? This guy right here.
It's,
Is that elderberry?
it's a, yes, 9 bar.
Oh, okay.
Oiled plants.
Oh, look at the great stringas.
So as it oxidizes, the colours will become a little stronger as well.
Oh, really?
So as it kind of cools in the oxygen and
Well, it's getting the oxygen in there a bit
So
more.
I didn't fail.
It doesn't
gold
like a
star.
wedding dress anymore.
No, you're right.
Oh,
Oh, I like the string.
Yeah.
it looked like a fairy's dress when you were wearing it. So now it's even going to be more so. Oh, look, it even did kind of pinky colors.
No, they don't do anything those ones.
Are they right over my boots?
What pink?
No, that's the back.
They're on the back.
So what are they? What were those? They're your kidneys. They're over your kidneys.
That was the, what, nine bark, you said.
Fairies.
Shoot, I wish I got some of that.
Printed purple.
Okay, now I just want to do more because
And the
this
silk.
is so cool.
Look at the silk oil.
Oh, that's
Really?
nice.
If we all do as well as this, it'll be this exciting. Ooh, and look at the dark at the bottom. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Right place for the dark, I think.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. It's beautiful. It's like chocolate.
So you can pick it up and give it a good shake,
Okay.
and then we'll take lots of photographs.
Then we'll put it on you.
All right. So gorgeous. Excited.
Wow.
Oh,
That's
beautiful.
Bravo.
That
Wow. Yeah, I did too.
Oh, it's
That is
And
lovely.
I like the way
How
that
very creative.
onion
the-
came
And your
out.
pocket
That's
was
really nice.
wonderful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Oh, I'm thrilled.
Yay.
Absolutely thrilled. Yeah.
Hold her out again there. No, I meant the bottom.
The bottom.
It really shows it.
Lou, can you grab one corner and Pauline grabs the other?
to take direction well if you're going to make things.
Oh,
That's amazing.
Fantastic.
beautiful, Susan. Great job.
Well done. Hooray.
So nice with that purple. What are the purple?
You can see it better. Keep it, yeah, you don't want to get
What was the purple beady
Well,
one?
they were the nine bark.
Nine bark, right.
But the leaves from the smoke bush. Too.
Smoke bush, yeah.
They were the dark ones.
These ones.
So the smoke bush.
Now, did you dip your leaves in alum or did you dip them in iron before you
Yes.
put them in?
Yes. Well,
Yes to both? Okay. I didn't dip mine, so I don't know. I just dipped the fabric.
Oh, look at that.
That is so cute.
Very nice.
So come on.
Look at the color.
Yeah.
Work it, baby, work it.
I got two granddaughters. They've taught me how. You're gonna have the hand on the hip.
Hand on the hip. yeah.
And you gotta do the T with your feet, right? You gotta foot T feet. Yeah, that was cool. So the colors will lighten a little bit when it dries, right? But
Not too much, I hope. I like it.
no, because look at the details, crazy.
And this is silk down here, so that'll look different when it's dry as well.
Oh, right, because it's gonna get
And
all
the
that
pocket,
lovely.
yeah.
Look at how defined that is.
The
like,
pocket's silk as well, so that should
look at that
different.
purpley color. What was that guy?
Those big purple ones.
It
I'm not
was
a
an actual
gardener.
purple leaf.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I remember when you made these peplum things, they were huge looking.
Yeah.
Look at that, just shrunk right down.
I was doing it
cute.
3 o'clock in the morning yesterday. I was thinking
You
"It's
were
gonna end up-
not.
It's going to end up my back. I know it is.
3 o'clock in the morning. Oh, it's cute.
Trust those measurements. Yes, those measurements.
Yeah, realistically, everybody's fit really well.
Yeah. I had lots of help on it though.
We all did.
Take some pictures.
That top is gorgeous because it just kind of fades down and nice.
The butterflies are made from bits of iron that you put on there.
Yeah. Iron butterfly.
No, yours are a lot lighter because you didn't dip anything. I wonder if mine are going to be lighter. Did you put the fabric in the iron bucket? Okay. So, yeah, you did the
Yeah,
same as me.
I
then.
love this. I love these colors. Light pink, light green.
Nice.
That's really nice.
Excellent.
Would you like the bag to try it on?
Yeah, maybe. It's got this silk inside though, which is really
Wet and
hard
sloppy.
to. Yeah, so maybe I won't.
Okay, well, you got it?
So that's from the.
You have to try it on.
I do have to. Okay, I will.
Teacher says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can hang it up, just hang it up for a little while and let it dry out a bit.
Okay. Well, I wear the bag.
And then it'll just take a bit of that water out for you. What's the difference in teaching adults as opposed to teenagers? The adults just do what you say. Not always. That's the difference. I think I was screwed. They look so different when they're on, don't they?
They do.
Oh, nice.
Makes a big difference.
Oh, that's nice.
And it's got a pocket.
Okay. I think everyone got a pocket, didn't they?
You've done this before.
Okay, we need a twirl.
I like the black socks with the keens, just to. It brings out the black and the butterfly, so that's all good.
The iron butterfly.
The
love
iron
it.
butterfly.
I'm just going to take a photo of them.
My friend loves
Have you seen that
dragonflies, so I cut a
It
dragonfly.
was really corroded.
Lily pad,
I really like
But
it.
it's just the way you got to do
positive,
it.
negative
Yeah.
on her scarf.
Kind of interesting.
Super pretty.
So did you have something right here that didn't print as dark, or did you leave that? I like the way the yellow comes down here, but was there anything right there? Because I
smells
feel like
good.
there's some
You're
color
getting
there,
that
but
yummy smell.
I honestly don't remember. I was just sort of, I was thinking about lining stuff up, but
So
then
she
when I folded it,
not down
yeah,
the center
everything,
or anything.
yeah,
There's
for
folds
sure.
are on either side of her shoulders. Interesting.
Yeah,
yeah, the penny did turn out. Yeah, I really
That's
like
because she had it really tightly folded.
I like that nail.
And then I just undid some of it.
It's under your arm now. Is it?
So it ended up, folding in a different spot.
that's very nice.
Any audio on this?
Yeah.
Should we not talk? Like
Oh no, the talking is great. The talking's fine. People like hearing what everybody's saying anyway, so.
All right.
So this is mine. So I did it 3 hours. We've had this in the pot. And this is actually the top of my dress. I kind of was wishing after I wrapped it all that I'd put the bottom in last. But this is gonna actually be the top. So all my dark stripes are gonna be like in the bodice. Hopefully that's gonna work the way I want it to. But I don't know, so far everyone's turned out amazing. So hopefully this one will too. Yeah, none of the plants on the outside worked at all. Let's see. Oh, I hope my
some of them
ferns
acted
worked.
like a bit like oh, you're welcome. Like a mask though, like
Yeah. 'Cause see, that's my shoulders, like here. Woo. For some reason, there was only one white glove out there. A whole grapevine. I was hoping to get those little curls in here, but I have no idea.
I like your one stripy shoulder.
That's kind of neat. And this is actually the back, because that's my little bustle ruffle, my ruffle bustle. There's lots of purple. That's always a good sign for me. Yeah, I put a lot on because I really didn't trust them to work. But there's some eucalyptus right there, right?
Eucalyptus.
That's
beautiful.
You didn't put much of that on there.
No, to be honest, I forgot until later. Okay, so this is the front, right? So that's the front here. This, oh my God, that's the iron chain.
That's cool, isn't it?
Isn't that neat? Where is that? That I cut out of the garden. I was wondering if that was the right fern.
I invited your husband round because he's just sitting in the car.
I like that you got like little you've got a bit of the string happening down there too.
I imagine that's just because that must have been on the outside when I was wrapping.
That's gorgeous.
Or no, I think you're doing a pattern because isn't this part of the chain? Like, was this up there?
It must have been somehow the way it folded, because I had trouble because the skirt was so wide and open, getting it folding into a rectangle. I had to fold and then fold, and it was like triple folds and quadruple folds.
Did you dip your leaves in?
I dipped nothing.
I love that
No, I
black
dipped
outline.
the fabric in the iron though, for sure.
Yeah.
But wow.
Little bits of the colour here
Awesome.
from the cedar.
I'm glad it's lots of
But you've
purple.
got green down there.
I love the green in the silk here.
Yeah.
I love the
Beautiful.
busyness of it
And
because
this
there's
seems
so many
a lot more yellow than
This looks like a
usual.
rope here. What is it?
chain.
It's a piece of iron chain. Didn't that turn out neat?
That is great.
That is
It was sort of a
really neat,
last
isn't it?
minute thing. I threw it on.
Good.
And actually there was a wrought iron S that I put in here too, somewhere in here.
Front side or back side?
It should be in here with this
That's
one.
right. It's the front side or the back side.
Yes, this is the front.
Look, this is cool, eh? Because you had a little bend here, which
yeah.
left a.
An opening,
Yeah.
almost like a leaf, a reverse leaf
Yeah,
shape.
yeah.
Yeah, because there's an S in here. Was this Andrew's iron? I don't. Maybe?
Yeah, it's
Oh, there's a
Andrew's
penny.
S.
There's a
Well,
penny.
there it is. There's the S.
There's the S and there's the chain.
But I
So
don't-
we're going.
Ow! That's hot.
Now we know what to do with all those pennies we still have at home, huh?
Did they penny show something?
It did. I think Trish had it on hers.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is fern. I don't really see any.
That chain really came out neat, didn't it?
I like the
did.
chain a lot.
Yeah.
Yours out.
This is Pam de Groot.
Hello.
And she's from the Blue Mountains of Australia. And she came to do an eco dyeing and freedom construction class with us for 4 days. And we survived with full success. Everyone was really thrilled. So we've probably, I've shown you a bunch of pictures of everybody revealing, and there's some video of people opening it up and seeing all the plants that we used for dyeing. And it was kind of cool because most of the plants we used were just right out of the backyard. Because we have maple trees, we were using smoke bush. The ironwood, is it ironwood? That was that one that came purpley.
The 9 bark? Oh, no,
Nine
the
bark, that's the one.
green,
Yes. Yeah, and then the man, there was some really cool stuff. And of course, the eucalyptus was the only thing we had to purchase. Everything else worked pretty good. And I even used some iron, it was like linked chain that made this really cool design. It was interesting because I can't figure out, because where it pushed, which was actually the black part, ended up being a relief. Like, it's the craziest stuff. Like, I thought where the black of the iron sat would be,
No, it just goes around it. Yeah.
yeah, it's like it falls off of it kind of thing. It's kind of cool. And this is the jazzy part where the strings were tied up, and we put it in an onion skin bath with a little bit of copper water, which is, we soaked copper in vinegar and water for like almost a month. Well, I guess it was just over a month. And the water turns blue. It's very toxic. You have to use gloves. And that acts as your mordant. Yeah. And that's the one thing, because a lot of the ladies had really crisp relief of their leaves. I didn't, but everybody was dipping it in iron, and I was rushing trying to get mine in the pot, so I wasn't dipping. I was just putting them down. These are eucalyptus leaves.
It's beautiful.
I think it turned out really cool. It's kind of watercolor effect. I mean, I was trying to dry this out last night, but then it started raining, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, oh my God, my dress, to run and get it off the clothesline. So you're heading off to teach in Kelowna in the next week. So what are you teaching in Kelowna? What's the course that you're doing there?
I'm doing one of my sculptural workshops, and I'm also going to do a vest workshop.
Oh, you're doing two at the same place kind of thing?
Yep.
And how long are each of those courses?
Each one's 3 days each.
3 days, right. Nice. And so you always seem to do dyeing as well as the felting, is that usually?
No, these ones don't have any dye in them.
Okay, so you're starting with colored pre-felt and colored silk and colored
Well,
merinos?
for the sculptural ones, it's just using fibre.
Right.
And for the vest one, they've got dyed silk and dyed wool, and then we're just combining that together
Okay,
to create a vest with some nice
nice.
surface decoration. And what have
So
you.
curiosity. So with the sculptural, now I mean, most of the wool, we used merino wool for this, white merino, natural merino, on top of silk gauze to make all of the fabric, and then some of this is just plain silk. When you're doing the sculptural, are you using merino as well, or are you using a different merino? Because I know we used a very fine merino, 19.5 microns. Because I know it tends to be very fluffy, and to get it, you sculpturals you want fairly smooth. Do you use something that's a little coarser?
Well, for these ones, they can use fine merino for the ones that we're doing because we're working quite small. But if
Right.
you ever want to scale anything up, you're going to need to use a coarser micron, something with a little bit more
Okay.
strength or tooth that's going to hold the form a bit better.
So you could use like Corriedale and
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Corriedale's good.
Yeah, I guess because there's so many different kinds of sheep, we kind of get stuck in that. Oh, it's always got to be merino, but there's lots of other sheep
There's
out
lots
there.
of other sheep. Yeah. Lots and lots of other sheep out there.
So if you were going to have a day just to hang out and just do something creative, what would you make?
What would I make? I don't know that I'd actually make a thing. If I'm getting really creative, I just like to experiment and play. So I usually have little ideas that are kicking around in the back of my head as I'm travelling around, and then I go home and I play with them and see what's going to happen. And it may work, it may not work. But
So when you're playing around, you're felting though, or are you dyeing?
usually felting, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes with the dye though too.
Okay.
Yeah,
And you used to be a ceramicist?
I was.
So you've always thought three-dimensionally. That's kind of your...
Yeah, I think I've always enjoyed that three-dimensional work and
this you don't
working
have
through
to
my
cook
hands.
quite the same
Yeah.
way as you do as pottery. You're still cooking a lot, but
Yeah.
hot water. That's cool. So do you knit?
I can knit. I kind of choose not to knit most of the time.
Well, this is so much. I mean, we made a dress in 4 days. You can't knit a dress in 4 days.
No.
There's no freaking way. But,
Yeah.
and they're fairly original. And this
very
you can
original.
you can fit it as you're felting it. So you just keep, okay, I need my shoulders a little tighter, so you start working this area, and I want to pull in my around my hips a bit more, so I might even felt this a little bit more. But hopefully I won't have to felt it too much. It's getting a little snug over the bust, so I don't want to get too vigorous, or I'll end up giving it to my daughter and I won't be able to wear it because she has a little bit smaller size than me. Yeah, it's so cool, and it makes that cool ruching stuff. So how did you find felting the first time? Did somebody kind of introduce you to it, or were you floating around on the internet?
I think my son was going to a Waldorf school,
Oh,
and
they
they,
do cool
had a
stuff.
little weekend course, very, very introductory, but it was I was really interested by it at that point, and so I just slowly, didn't sort of, go
Yeah.
bam, that's it. But slowly I just sort of kept doing little bits of it, and then eventually it sort of took over.
Well, it seems like Australia and New Zealand's ahead of us. Like, they seem to be doing it seems like a lot of it is coming out of Australia and New Zealand, and even like,
And that's where all the sheep are.
yeah, well, this is true. Because they were always coming up with this cool idea with the felting, and I've even seen this European, Sweden, is it Sweden, Denmark? They do some cool stuff.
Yeah. There's
And-
a lot of interesting stuff coming out of Europe, definitely.
Yeah, because it seems like Canada and the United States are kind of finding it now, and it's becoming a thing, but it's taken us a little bit longer. We're sort of catching
I mean,
up.
you've got quite a few sort of really
Yeah,
top
now
sort
we're
of felt makers in here.
now we've caught up. But I would say even 10 years ago, it seemed like I didn't even hardly. Well, no, yeah. 10 years ago, I knew a little bit, but it was always about knitting and felting. It wasn't more like actual making the felt.
Making felt, yeah.
But
But felt making itself in its sort of modern context is really only probably sort of 30 years old, I'd
Yeah.
say,
yeah,
in terms of what's really sort of been the new wave of felt making, the new use of it really, where it's gone from being quite utilitarian
yes,
to being more decorative or,
Yeah.
garments
garments like full,
or whatever, but also
dramatic.
taking it into the art sphere where it becomes a medium for expressing artistic concepts as well.
Yeah, because now it's like you see it in galleries now.
Yeah.
Like there's some amazing stuff. Because you were talking about possibly doing a show.
Yeah, I'm working towards a solo exhibition, which will take as long as it takes. I'm not going to
Yeah.
say when that's going to be ready, but
How many pieces would you need for a solo
I need
exhibition?
about 40.
40.
Yeah.
And you would do it like probably in Sydney, do you think, or?
I want to try and do it up in the mountains where I live. There's
Oh.
a regional gallery there I'd like to try and do it through.
Neat.
But if that doesn't happen, then I'll find somewhere to exhibit them.
Yeah, 40 pieces. Good Lord. That's just trying to make all that and then store it without selling it.
Storing it's going to be the tricky thing.
Yeah.
I need to get rid of. I have this scale issue where I like doing big things. I'm going to have to get over that. I won't be able to store everything.
Yeah, that would be a trick. Well, if you need some storage, I can put it in Rosehaven. That basement's pretty good for that. Well, thanks so much, Pam. And I have to take you to the train. Heading off onto your next little bit, but you're close to getting home, so back to your boys.
Thank you.
All right,
Thanks for
so
having
much.
me.
Thanks. Okay, bye guys.